guys, welcome back to math. Last class we learned about imaginary numbers, how a negative, when trying to move outside of a radical, becomes an I, about how an I squared becomes a negative 1. Today, we're kind of still applying the same rule. The only difference is today we're going to actually combine numbers together. We're doing adding numbers and negative numbers. Okay, we're doing two different sets of problems. One for positive, one for negative. So you guys can see the difference. The first one is, well, first of all, the title is, remember, we need the title of the concept, right? So we're still doing complex numbers, like we did last class. The only difference is today is operations with complex numbers. So, operations with complex numbers. Okay, that's the title for today. Operations with complex numbers. Meaning that on today's problem, we have 6 plus I plus, because remember the one for plus, one for minus, 4 minus 5I. Okay? It kind of looks complicated, it's really not. Probably you're here like, it looks complicated because of the I. We're not really going to solve for I, okay? So you guys can, relax a little more because we're not actually solving for I. All we're doing is just going to combine as much as we can, okay? Notice that we're adding, okay? All we have to do is write the whole equation without the parentheses. That's the first step. So we can say 6 plus I plus, because it's positive, right? Plus 4 minus 5I. Okay, that's all we did. All we did is get rid of the parentheses. Now that it's outside the parentheses, it looks a little more easier to do. All we're going to do is combine like terms. Okay, that's all we're doing. We're just combining like terms. Notice that whenever you have an I by itself, there's always a 1 there. Okay? So let's combine them. Notice that there's no equal sign, so if all the signs stay the same. So we can say 6. Notice that we have a 6 plus 4. They're both the same. Okay? So we have 6 plus 4, which is 10. Plus 1I minus 5I. We cannot combine the 10 with any of them because these two have I. So we can leave the 10 as it is. So just bring it down. 10. Notice that we have a 1 minus 5. Whenever you're adding or subtracting, you don't have to alter the I because it stays as it is. It's just an I. Okay? Remember last time we did multiplication, so it became I squared. When you multiply, you do add up the exponents. When it's adding and subtracting, you just keep the same. Okay? Nothing alters. So we have 1I minus 5. So 1 minus 5 is 4, negative, right? Because the 5 is bigger. And then just add our I. Since nothing else can combine, that is our answer. 10 minus 4I. And we are done. Simple, right? All we have to do is get out of the parentheses, and it started getting a lot more simpler. Like I said, we're not going to solve for I. All we have to do is combine like terms. Now we're going to do one with the minus. Okay? I'm going to keep the same one. We're going to just change the positive to a minus. Keep in mind, make sure you have everything written down. Okay, before I erase it, if you need more time, pause it. Alright, we're going to erase everything on the board. Alright, so again, we have the same equation. 6 plus I, this time it's a minus. 4 minus 5I. Notice that the first part almost never, unless you have a negative in the front, changes, okay? That always stays the same unless, like I said, there's a negative. So we can say 6 plus I. Here's probably the tricky part. All you have to really know is that whenever you have a negative, you have 1 outside the parentheses, okay? This is what we do with distributive property. We do negative 1 times 4, which is negative times positive is negative, right? Hopefully you know the rules by now. So negative 4. You do it also to the other number, okay? So negative 1 times negative 5I. Negative times negative, positive, plus 5I, okay? Notice that I didn't change the 5I because anything times 1 is just itself. Again, now that we have it in the simple form, we can actually start combining like terms. Again, we have 6. This time we have a negative 4. We have 6 minus 4, which is 2, right? Positive 2 because 6 is bigger. So we have 2. This time, again, we have a 1. When there's no number there, next to a variable is always a 1. So we have 1 plus 5, positive 6I. Okay? Like I said, don't alter the i's. All you have to do is keep the same. Think of when you're doing fractions. When you're adding and subtracting fractions, you keep the same denominator. Okay? So that is our answer, since we cannot reduce it any further. So we have 2 plus 6I. If you have any questions, guys, make sure you have everything written down. Make sure you submit your answers. Make sure if you have any questions, you let me know. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. So here's your assignment. Let's erase this one here. All right, your assignment for today is we're going to have negative 4 plus 2I. Oh, wrong parentheses. I'm going to put both in here. I'm going to do plus, because you're doing 1 for plus. You're also doing 1 for minus. Okay, you're doing the same problem for both. Your other one is 6 minus 3I. Okay? So keep in mind, you have to do one problem with adding, one problem with subtraction. Okay? So we have negative 4 plus 2I, 6 minus 3I. And that is your assignment for today. So make sure you submit your answers as soon as you're done watching the video. And I'll be waiting for your email.